Hello and welcome to the Hey Coach podcast. My name is Ryan Strickland. I'm joined with head coach Michael Langston of the NAU Lumberjacks and head coach Tyler Pasley of the Payson Longhorns, Horns Up. And has there ever been a better day for Chicago sports fans since they came out with the Mike Ditka scented candle? Like, let's be honest. What an evening for you guys, Paz. I know you don't care about the Bears, but
I was say that's. Did the Bulls win? Was it like did the Bulls play? I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Hold on, editor, look that up. Did the Bulls win yesterday?
They played last night.
Chicago won.
Wow.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Did the Blackhawks win yesterday? The Blackhawks won yesterday. Oh my God. That really was the best day for Chicago sports in a while. You guys get Alex Bregman. That's massive. Also ruined the recording of Get Hot we had.
Yeah.
So gonna have to do like a little pre-introduction notice to the fans there that we did not know the Bregman news while recording.
Well, it didn't come out until Well, we're not posting that, are we? That's because that's like all useless.
I mean, we're posting it.
Why?
Because we spent 48 minutes of our life doing that.
Yeah, but 25 to 30 of it are useless to people listening to it.
20 to 25% of you is useless, dude. We still bring you back, okay? So we're going to do it, okay?
That wasn't relevant at all.
Well, buy a mic. Also, fun fact, 2 out of every 3 people on a podcast have a mic. We actually have 3 mics in this podcast, technically.
Oh, they might cover me. Bregman of the Cubs, it's big. I didn't see it coming at all. When we recorded Get Hot, they shouldn't be posted. All 3 of us had him going back to Boston. And I sure didn't have the Cubs getting him for deferred money as well. I don't know if you saw that, but there was deferrals, no opt-outs, and a full no trade. Like, I didn't see it being kind of team friendly-ish. So that was wild. I still it's crazy because I still have no idea, and we'll talk about this on Get Hot when we do it, but I still don't know what they're going to do with Matt Shaw and Nico. It's pretty wild. So go Cubs.
Yeah. And as a former third baseman.
Red Sox are having a good offseason. Yeah, really good.
We got Cutter Crawford and Romy Gonzalez.
Already there. No, they got
we avoided arbitration with Cutter Crawford. That's crazy you're talking over me about my team. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, good offseason. Go Snakes.
Yeah. Whatever, dude. Langston, how are you feeling about the Snakes?
Well, big
Anything good going to come?
No, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Snakes are snaking. Maybe we'll bring Belly home. That would be cool. A little bit of positional flexibility. Can play center, can play first base.
That would be sick.
That would be like a dream signing for me, and maybe the team friendliness of Bregman's contract will bring us into the fold on that a little bit. I hope.
I'd argue with Faison saying they were keeping Patel is like good news because I think this whole offseason, like I'm being honest, I think the rumors were annoying, and I'm not even a Snakes fan. Like that's a statue Ring of Honor type player, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna treat you.
That whole thing held up our entire offseason, so now I don't know where we're going to go from here. Like, we needed help, and while we were out there trying to shop our best player, we had a ton of guys signed around the league that should have been probably in a Snake uniform. So I'm annoyed with the front office of the Diamondbacks. They gotta do some work.
All right.
Belly to the Snakes is going to feed ventilation.
You heard it, front offices of the MLB. Figure it out. But no, welcome back to Hey Coach. Today, we are going to be talking about spring ball. It's right around the corner. For Langston and I, it's in 2 days. I mean, we're going to be out at our first spring practice in 2 days. Bring your shovels. Even though it's pretty sunny out, I think it might melt a lot of it.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be okay. But no, it should be good. So we're going to talk about spring ball today, specifically maybe some differences between like fall and spring? And also, like, what do we do as coaches to get ready for the spring season? Because even though it's the same sport, you know, we're doing relatively a lot of the same stuff in day-to-day, like practices. Spring ball is different enough from fall ball to where there is enough to talk about. We'll start with you, Langston, because you might have a very different spring ball approach mentality than I do, especially with your spreadsheets and your analytics. So what do you do to get ready for spring ball? As head coach of the NAU Jacks, what are you doing?
What am I doing specifically?
Yeah, like what's your mindset? Like what are you thinking about? You know, how are you approaching spring season, we can say?
Yeah, I guess the approach is just you know, the fall gave us a chance to get an idea of which guys were going to be fighting for starting positions and figure out who is going to be kind of leading the charge for us on the field here in the spring. So now, kind of knowing that, having that kind of molded, that allows us to focus in a little bit more on those guys, pitching specifically. Pitching, getting guys built up, especially like our starters. We want to make sure we get them built up and that we're not just building them up too fast and risking injury on these guys. You know, we've got a couple of scrimmages scheduled before we start our actual conference season. And so in those scrimmages, we'll probably stretch some guys out a little bit, let guys go 2 or 3 innings, as opposed to in the fall, we were pretty much anywhere between 15 to 30 pitches, just letting guys go an inning, just to make sure they were getting a feel for it on the mound. But now that we've got an idea of who are going to be our major contributors on the mound, make sure we get those guys stretched out. Offensively, getting back into our cadence of going live and making sure that our bats don't lag behind our arms, because that's usually what you see in the spring, especially the early spring, is that pitching ends up being way ahead of hitting because guys got to get their timing. You know, they've spent a month off. Who knows if they've been working in the off season. You know, we always encourage them, hey, when you're home, go get some work in. But it's tough for us to really know, right, what guys are doing. So making sure we're getting guys some live ABs, making sure that we're stretching our pitchers out, and making sure that our bodies are just primed and ready to go for, especially for those first conference games we got coming up at in San Diego, first weekend in March.
Yeah, that's a real fun test for us. For anybody who may not be like well aware of the NCBA, especially the South Pacific Southwest region that the Jacks fall in, SDSU is a really solid program. They play a very, very on-brand West Coast baseball. A lot of small ball. They're fundamentally just really, really sound. So that's a really fun test for our boys to start the season with. I mean, all the teams in our region are good, but SDSU just kind of plays that really fun brand of West Coast baseball that isn't as maybe prevalent in a lot of areas, especially nowadays. But yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Langston, before I turn it over to Paz really quick. Yeah. Unmute yourself, buddy. Paz, go ahead and mute yourself. Yeah, that's right. Langston, would it be fair to say that our fall is a lot about just gathering the data, and then spring is really more, maybe not so much gathering the data, maybe keeping an eye on it, but now we're really trying to take that data and implement it towards, you know, conference wins?
Yeah, so the fall is it's definitely a data gathering session for me. Basically, it's a couple month long data gathering session where I can take all the things that I'm seeing, take all the numbers that we put up during our inter squads, during our scrimmages, put them all in one place, and then from there I can take those, implement them into a game plan for the spring. there's still some of that fall is going to hang around, because as we even continue to gather more and more data through the spring, all that does is give us a larger sample size. And so it either affirms what we're doing in the spring, or if things are not going well or not going the way that we want them to be going, then we need to kind of reevaluate the data based on what we're seeing now in the spring. So I'm always gathering data and always analyzing that data. It's just the sample size just becomes larger and larger the further into the season we go, and allows me to make more informed decisions.
Love it. Love it. One of the more beautiful analytical minds in the game, Michael Langston. That's a nice cup you got there, Mike. It's pretty sick. That new Stanley there, buddy. That is no. Oh,
you can thank my appendix for that.
What happened?
Well, thank you, appendix. It was an inside job, dude. Try to get him, but no. We're not supposed to be making Mike laugh. It hurts. But no. Okay, Paz, you are going to have a very different answer from Mike here, because your fall was primarily middle school baseball, which you do not deal with in the spring. There is no spring middle school ball. So your fall was primarily like its own spring, right? Like you didn't get a fall with those fall kids. You just got fall ball. And you really didn't get a full fall with your high school kids. So now as a high school coach and as a first-year program head coach, you're heading into your first fall without what a lot of coaches will consider is a really big part of the high school season, which is fall, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So you being in this spot, how are you approaching spring ball? Without the fall ball, kind of without maybe a lot of the data, the analytics that me and Mike have, how are you going into this spring ball with the Horns?
Yeah, I think truly one of the bigger challenges is fall or middle school baseball took up 3 months. So you hit the nail on the head. Like I saw, I don't know, maybe 2 months worth of practices with like anywhere from 8 to 13 guys that were out there. So like I didn't have all my football players, and we had a ton of football players. So I mean I didn't see them play real baseball. So kind of what I'm almost forced to do is, one, we're getting every single practice we're having. Like we were on the field last week, we threw bullpens and we hit, because a lot of those guys were in another sport. They haven't been out. I haven't seen them either. And I think one cool thing is that these guys don't have preconceived ideas of what the head coach has, because I am new. So I think that's kind of a refreshing thing for the guys. Like they've been asking me, hey, how many guys you gonna keep? How many guys you gonna keep? I'm like, I have no idea. I haven't even seen you guys play a baseball game. So kind of what we're doing is every practice we're having bullpens. We had 20 guys show up to the field on Wednesday. It's awesome turnout. So we're gonna throw bullpens to get built up for you guys, because again, these guys, like some of these kids haven't played a baseball game since April. I know some of our younger guys played in whatever the highest age of Little League is. I think they got third in state, so they had a really good showing there. But most of the team hasn't played since April. So basically, I'm just trying to get them built up for you guys, and the focus is like trying to have an idea of kind of how they play the game before tryouts start, because we have tryouts in I think 29 to 30 days. And I have seen 0 of these guys play a baseball game outside of the playoff game I went and watched when I was still coaching at the post-grad level. So it's really shaking the rust off and getting prepared for you guys. I think in a traditional, maybe next year, hopefully, fall isn't as chaotic as it was. And I'm a little bit more under my feet. I'm not scrambling as much, like trying to learn this role, because it is a lot different than really anything else I've ever done. So hopefully by this point next year, I've seen these guys play baseball. I've seen pitchers throw to hitters. I've seen our guys kind of react to adversity. Like I haven't seen anything. So it is unique to where like all we did is we threw bullpens for an hour and a half, and we got most of the guys through, which was a positive. But the max pitches they threw is 20. So like when we play you guys, we it'll probably be 1 inning for each guy. I know we have one kid that threw a couple over break, but it was bullpens trying to get them ready for live hitters, and then we rotated through. We did live VP the first round. We did machine the second round. We did flips. We have a bunch of heavy plyos, and then we did T work, and they hit for an hour and a half. Through bullpens for an hour and a half. So it was a fairly stock practice, but that's pretty much what it's going to be moving forward. Just to get them ready for tryouts, because I think at the same point of them not being, or kind of being, I think, excited that there's not like preconceived ideas. I also think there's stress of like, what's the new guy going to do? Because a ton of them have asked me, like, hey, how many guys are you going to keep? And I struggle to answer that question because I think they're used to smaller rosters, and I'm okay carrying a couple more guys just because I'm used to the bigger high school. But that's kind of what our spring is going to look like for the time being. So we'll see how it goes. I hope that it's not like this next year, because it has been fairly chaotic where the new head coach hasn't seen any of these guys play baseball except for 9 varsity players from last year, or it would be 8 returning varsity players from last year. So kind of a unique spring where I almost feel like I'm in scramble mode for the next like 29 days, which is not ideal, but I mean, we'll make the most of it. I think one big thing, and we had a former big league pitcher reach out to us and want to come out and help coach, so he'll be there on Monday. So having another set of eyes out there will be good. But yeah, we're just trying to shake the rust off and get ready to play a college program, because we have not played a baseball game with the bullets flying since April, and that's not ideal. So that's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I'm jealous of. Okay, the first guy in line at a buffet. Okay, the last guy in line at a buffet. Not really jealous of you right now. That's not like easy. I don't. If there are people out there listening that like haven't done like lineup construction, haven't like gone through a full season with a team, it's not like you can just show up and go, oh well, that guy, and that guy go. Like there's so many different things that go into how you build a lineup, how you build like a batting order. I've learned a lot from you guys on building batting orders, but like there might be a kid who really struggles to hit in the 2-hole, and you bump him down a couple spots, and all of a sudden he can't get out. So it's not like the easiest thing. You can't just really walk in and coach a team up as best as they could be. So yeah, not really jealous of you, Paz. You got a big
I can
big
add
challenge ahead of you.
Yeah, I can add to that. I haven't even seen, like, I've seen some of these guys at least take live ABs, like in the fall. I haven't seen our kid who led 3A in home runs take an AB yet. Like, I have not a single idea what the lineup will look like because of how little I've seen them.
And so which kid is that?
I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. You will, once he steps into the box, you'll know who it is. He's physical.
Okay. How is he going to feel about a Colwell special to the ribs? Well, no,
I'm interested. I'm interested to see how he faces high level pitching, because I can tell you guys this too, which is another kind of thing I didn't even think of until last week. We don't see off speed a ton. I've talked to the guys. When we play, we have such a weird dichotomy in our schedule where we play like these Christian schools that are big time 3A powers, where they just kind of abuse us with fastballs, it seems like, because they have the guys to do it. And then we see kind of your stock 3A team where they're just trying to throw strikes. And it doesn't, from what I've asked the guys, they hardly ever see a good off-speed pitch. I put kind of like a backed up slider on the machine last week, and like for some of the guys it was nothing, but for a good majority it was a little bit tougher. Like we did rounds of 8, and like there were some good rounds that 2 of 8 balls, like for decent contact, hits up hard somewhere. So that's something I didn't even consider. So playing you guys is going to be very interesting, because we're going to get hopefully everything you guys got. So, and please,
Chris Flores is going to put your boys in a blender.
That's not even who I'm thinking of, dude.
Plenty of him though. I think we've seen plenty of him, and I'm not saying that it's going to be a challenge regardless, but it's just something I didn't think of.
Strick, you know who's going to be a real problem for these guys?
Kitty?
Brady Bowers.
Oh no, dude! Brady. Hey, you remember back in Little League Paz where kids would go up with the cage on the helmet?
Yeah.
You might want to get a couple of those. Dude, Brady Bowers is... No, dude, you won't. Brady Bowers he gets the ball up here, and then it is just out of the hand, and it's a 96 mile an hour fastball, 7 stories in the air, or it's an off-speed pitch that's just like...
Yeah, we need to see that.
Dude, it's a... Oh.
Was it during the Fall World Series? He sent like 3 balls, onto the bottom field, and then was just like, "I'm good, step in."
Yeah, no, literally
just terrified, and then he dealt. Like, it was incredible, dude.
Like, we just absolutely disturbed the cricket game that was taking place on the lower level, and then just like it was. Brady Bowers is fun to watch.
We need to see it.
So no, I'm gonna speak to kind of stuff that Paz was saying, because he's gotta build his guys up. He was talking about getting all those guys through bullpens and going potentially like 1 guy per inning against us. Mm-hmm. We play them on January 24th.
Yeah.
Oh, we're like
tickets now available.
Okay, we're like just under 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get through, if we're still good to go with 2 9-inning games, I'm going to try to get through 18 innings with 10 guys.
Yeah.
That's where I want our guys to kind of be built up to by then. Yeah. Have a few guys go 2, and then get some 1-inning guys going. So that's kind of just the differences in where we're at, and where I know that we can kind of push some guys, and that's where that fall really comes into play, like knowing that we didn't tax these guys too much in the fall, so we're gonna be able to build them up in the spring.
Yeah, like I just had to see them play baseball, because
one thing, Paz, that's very, very different from the time you spent at NAU is we now have a diverse pitching staff. Like, it's not like we don't just have 3 guys who can pitch and then like a bunch of guys who come in and help out. Like there are guys who all can go up there, all can do work. They all have different pitches, different arm angles. We got a lot of guys who can, control the run game. Like, you can go like Connor Colwell to Kitty to Brady Bowers to Cash to PJ. Like, we have just kind of like boom, boom, boom. So your guys aren't just going to see like decent, like more, higher than decent pitching. They're going to see different types of pitching too, which I think is a lot of fun. They're going to see guys like a Kitty who might just have had a really rough shift at in and out, and he says, "I'm going to stuff 27 fastballs down the middle, and I dare you to hit it." And then you get El Diablo, Chris Flores, who brings a ball from here to there in 60 feet 6 inches, and it's it's disgusting. So it's going to be fun. Yeah, dude. If you ever go to the In-N-Out Flagstaff, okay, and the fries look a little bit more crushed than usual from that thing, that's Braden Kitmoto down there doing some pull downs on that fry press. Shout out Kitty. Okay, but no. Paz, real quick follow up for you with high school stuff. And this kind of goes into the next question, which Mike will get you on too. But Paz, what's going to be different for you next year? Obviously, you're going to want more time in the fall, right? Like, that's the big thing, is you want more time in the fall. And I think as a first-year head coach, and not telling you something you don't know, but I'm just trying to tell the people, as a first-year head coach, that is the year that like parents and players are like, you need to be out there doing stuff because you need to make a good impression with this coach.
Yeah.
So you in a sense missed a window in the fall, right? Second year head coach, still feel like people are going to be trying to get out there, but like, what is your goal heading into next fall? Like, what are you going to do differently? How's it going to be different?
Yeah, it's a tough question because there's just so many answers. Like, even from like a, I don't know, housekeeping administrative level, like I want to have my gear ordered like right when school starts. I just ordered stuff in the end of December. I ordered our hats, and I sent you guys a picture. Those came in, but I still haven't got like the apparel yet, our practice gear. I didn't do that until December, and that should be done well before that. I want to have like a clear message sent out to guys of what the expectation is, if indeed I still haven't figured it out yet. I want to make sure those guys know exactly what they're doing. During middle school, like I would have them coach, those guys didn't even know me yet. But I would have them come out and help out, and then if they help out, they're just sitting in the cage with the throw. Like I want to have a clear expectations of what they're doing, while middle school kind of has the field. I had written up individual hitting plans for our hitters. I want to have those actually done in the summer. But part of that is just I didn't get to see them before, so that way they have some individual development to kind of look forward to during the whole fall instead of just like a couple weeks, and that's something those guys can do at home, so on and so forth. I want to have a fall schedule set in stone by the summer. That way it's not me scrambling like during the workday trying to get games scheduled, and then like, and this isn't their fault because we ran into it too, but like reaching out to all these coaches, a lot of them already had their schedule done. Like I reached out to Prescott because they're a really good program, and when we were all at Cocoa, like they were really good top to bottom. I reached out to them and they were already full, and this is like the first week of school. They had already finished their schedule. So stuff like that I would like to have done. I could go on for a long time about this. I don't want to because this podcast will last too long. But like, there's so much that I need to get better at. And part of it's just the learning curve. Like, a lot of this stuff I didn't know. Like, every time I buy something, I have to fill out paperwork, and I had no idea that was going to be the case. And I have to have like kids sign off on it. Like, there are things like that just, now that I know these things, I want to have like a system set up where it's all kind of done and taken care of. That way, I can more focus on just the baseball side of it and get our guys better. I'd say kind of maybe the last piece of it is I don't want to be the guy, because Payson's a unique community where like I have kids that work full-time jobs while going to high school while playing baseball. I've never been in a place like that before. Like even where I grew up, it was more blue collar. It was definitely more blue collar than the other kind of high school place I've ever been. But like we didn't have kids working full-time. I have kids that work full-time, and my expectation, or what I thought would be, is, hey, if you're not playing a sport, you need to be here. I have not once set that precedent, and I kind of want to make sure that that's clear with the guys of like why that's the case. Because I'm perfectly fine if you're going to go work, go make your money, and then you can be there when you can. But I want to make sure that kind of the culture's not going to be set in year two, but I want to make them feel like, hey, we have a clear expectation of what the coaching staff wants in terms of us being there for fall. So I want to make sure that guys are available to get to those times. Like on Fridays when we don't have school, I can't do morning practices because I have guys at work. So I want to be respectful of that practice or whatever it is. So I want to make sure that that's set too, of like, hey, if you need to go work, but like let's find a way to get your work in too. So I'd like to have that set as well. But that's a good question, and honestly tough to answer because man, it's the learning curve is pretty chaotic, to be honest.
Yeah, and that was, I think I kind of knew that was going to be a tough question, but
yeah,
you can handle tough questions. You're an Illini fan. Okay, you're used to disappointment. You're used to going through it. So
no, we're doing all right. Hold on, let me see the score. Hold on.
Yeah, what is it?
I haven't been watching. I've been doing.
What
good,
is it?
By the way,
what's the score?
Hold on, man. They're in a timeout. I saw some. There was a terrible. They called a flagrant on one of our guys over. So I mean, come on, man. Let the boys play a little bit.
I'm muting him. I'm going to mute him. All right, Langston, you're up. So like I said, I'm going to tweak the question a little bit for you, because it's kind of hard. Hold on, let me unmute him. What is it?
75-69 good guys, 6.6 seconds.
Okay. So Langston, here's the thing. It's kind of hard for like you to do things differently. With NAU, like you only have 2 days a week. So it's kind of hard for you to say, oh, well, let's try this brand new thing. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, it's almost like you find your formula and you work on refining that formula instead of trying a formula each year. Like, I would be shocked to hear next year if you guys aren't going live on Thursdays. Right? Like maybe go live on Tuesdays, who knows? But I would just be shocked at, like, let's say you take out live entirely. So for you heading into NAU, it's kind of hard to change what you do, but is there anything that you're going to change within that? Like, are you going to maybe have some different, are you going to try to add some things into the culture? Are you going to try to maybe add in some different things? Or, if there's really nothing you can add, do you have any advice to give out there to anybody who's a coach listening? Like, hey, if you're somebody who is, has limited time, limited resources, this is how, this is what we did. This is how I think of it. I'll let you take that question however you want, but, just kind of a hard question to ask a guy who only gets 2 practices a week.
Yeah. Something that I wish I would have done better this year already is implement a lot more of our signals that we're going to use in the spring. I mean, I know we did kind of like, we did implement some of those stuff. We implemented like our looks at second base. We implemented some back pick stuff. But like, as far as like, I like to run some like exotic bunt coverages. We didn't work on those at all this year in the fall. We were so busy just focused on working on our base bunt coverages. And so like, having coached with me, like I've sent you these more exotic bunt coverages that include pickoffs and wheel plays and all these things, and we just hadn't had a chance to work on them in the fall. And part of that, I think, comes from going live half of your practices, and that was a sacrifice I was willing to make sure these guys were getting game speed looks. So I'd like to implement that stuff a little bit earlier, implement our actual offensive signs, which is going to be like, hey, go get them. Yeah, exactly. You go. So like that was something we didn't really implement a whole lot of. We toyed around with a couple different ideas. I think the thing is too, is that when you're only going twice a week, you do have to kind of simplify. And that's something that was hard for me coming from a collegiate program where we were practicing every single day and we could work on these little things every single day, whether that was first and thirds or bunt coverages or our offensive signs. You could get more exotic with those because you had more time to learn them, right? Like, I'm not going to get super exotic with our offensive plays, our offensive signs, because our guys just don't have the time to learn them and to know them. And so then, do I have the trust to put them on? Do I feel like I've put them in a position to succeed in those plays, knowing that we haven't practiced them? That's probably not going to happen. So, I obviously wish we just had more time, but 2, if we didn't, which we don't, I wish that maybe I would have implemented some of that stuff a little bit earlier, so that maybe we're not kind of cramming it into the spring when it actually matters, right? So I don't know what that looks like, because I feel like on those Tuesdays when we weren't scrimmaging and going live, we were always working on some sort of team defense. So I don't know if that's like assigning homework, right? Like giving it to these guys and saying like, you're expected to know these things. I don't know. It's kind of a problem for future me, and the future is now. So we'll figure it out here on Tuesday as I write the practice plan.
I like it. And like, here, the thing about you and your situation, Mike, is I feel like you are very much in the right to give these guys homework to like learn signs and all that, because we do only practice 2 days a week. So that's 5 other days that they can sit down for 10 minutes a day and maybe look over their signs. I mean, it's not that much to ask, but it also kind of goes back to that thing that we've always preached. And I can say we because we all coached at NAU, which is, hey, we only get 2 days a week. You guys need to find time to make yourselves better outside of those 2 days. And that can very much be studying, right? Going over the signs. And a lot of these guys live together. A lot of these guys hang out together. So it's very realistic to go, hey, man, you know what? Let's study our signs. Let's do that. Or like, hey, what's the steal sign? Holding each other accountable, which again is something we've always preached to the players, which is like, we shouldn't always be the ones to hold you guys accountable. A lot of the times it should be from within, that you guys should be the ones checking each other. So yeah, I think those guys would handle it very well. One thing I'll say, being in this, go ahead, Mike.
The only issue I have with that is kind of similar to like when we've talked about like how we can't tell people they can't play basketball because it's a club sport, right? And it's like it's hard. It's a hard line to walk, and it's like, how do I know if I give this homework that it's actually going to be done, right? Because there's not like these guys want to win. That's
Welcome to being a teacher.
But like there's nothing that is like over their head of if they don't do these things. Like if I don't do these things, if I don't do what's expected of me as a scholarship athlete, there's a chance I lose my scholarship, right? Yeah. Like that isn't there for these guys. And I believe that they would do the homework they were given, a vast majority of at least. But it's hard because I have no way of actually like knowing that that's happening, because there isn't anything to like actually hold them accountable to it.
Yeah.
Which is why we try to go over a lot of it at practice, because then we at least know that they're getting the information and they're receiving it. So sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's 100% fair. I was going to just give my little take on this, which is, as someone who is now an assistant coach, we can say positional coach. I'm the outfield coach. Whenever I say positional coach, I think of football. Do you guys think of football when you hear positional coach? Yeah. But I coach the outfielders. One thing that I like to do in the fall, as a guy who gets to be very hands-on with a very specific group, which is the outfielders, is I like to really start to like build up the idea of like, hey, we are a team, but like the outfield is your unit. Like trying to make sure that we're not only supporting everybody on the team, but when it comes to like outfield to outfield guys, like we're real strong in that core. Because when you're out there, that's what you got. When you're in the outfield, those are the guys you have. When we split off for practice, you're hanging out with those guys for a good chunk of practice. I want to make sure that the positional group that I have my hands on, that they are close, or at least I put them in positions to, give them the opportunity to become closer. They might hate each other. I don't know, but I try to make our stuff fun. I try to make it competitive. I think I've talked about it before, but like one of my favorite moments of this season so far is when we were playing Hit the Hat. One of the guys, the whole time they're talking smack back and forth because no one's hitting the hat. And then someone hits the hat and everybody celebrates with that one guy. Like, I think that's really fun. I think that's really cool. And if you can have, not these, not cliques, but if you can get your units within the team to support each other, I think that leads to overall better team health. Like if your catchers are tight, if your outfielders are tight, your infielder, blah, 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 the overall support just goes through the roof. So that's always something that like I've tried to really not have it be my main focus, but have it be a focus, is making sure that the group I have my hands on, they're feeling good. They're feeling good with each other. And I know you guys do too. I'm not saying anything you guys don't know or you guys don't do. But that's just my little thing on it. And like anyone out there who's an assistant coach, like if you want to help out your head coach in the fall and in the spring, just make sure your boys know what's going on. Like a head coach has to deal with a lot. right? And both of these guys I'm sitting here with today are very good at including assistants in on like some of these things, but it's still their responsibility. So if you're an assistant coach and you just want to make sure that like, you know, you're not your head coach's, you know, least favorite assistant coach, just make sure your boys are doing what they're supposed to be doing, make sure they're working. You know, if your head coach goes, hey, go out there and work on them with something, don't have them look out there 10 minutes later and your boys are just, you know, fucking around and you're standing there not really doing much. And that's, you know, that's just my view as an assistant, faithful to my skipper. But yeah, no, that's you know, that's my little spiel on it. Anybody got anything want to add before we move on? Paz, you look like you got something.
Yeah, I completely want to rework my fall. I left that out. My fall was a joke. I had no idea what I was stepping into because I didn't know that middle school baseball still existed because club ball has kind of taken that over and ruined it, I'll say. But my fall was a joke because I was scrambling to try to understand how this had worked in the past and how to make it better. So next year, my fall is going to look way different than it did this year. And that's maybe my biggest, like, and I'm not beating myself up over it because I needed to learn how things even worked in general, but now that I see, like, what I prepared versus what the situation was just not close to being good. So that'll be completely reworked, top to bottom.
Langston, you unmuted. What did you have?
No, I just thought you made a great point as an assistant and working with a position group and making sure those guys are cohesive to bring together a whole cohesive team. So I just want to give you kudos on that.
And
thanks, buddy. Good work.
Positional coach is fair because, like, if Langston's telling you, like, hey, you have outfielders and base running or whatever, like, if you're an assistant listening to this, be the best positional coach you can possibly be and focus on it. Like, don't worry about the hitters if that's not one of your tasks. Be the best at whatever your role is, because that's something where, kind of going back to your point of positional coach, I don't think baseball at the younger levels, and I'll even include college to an extent, has understood that being a positional assistant baseball coach is just fine. That's how it should be. Like last year when I was coaching at the post-grad level, I was the hitting coach. I didn't care about our pitchers. I just worked my butt off to be the best hitting coach possible. And then in game, our head coach is pitching coach. So that's his problem. Like, be the best possible position coach you can be and don't worry about anything else. Like, if that is your role, go do it. I think that's something that's a little archaic about baseball.
Yeah, and to me, it just makes sense because where I went to school at PC, like, that's what we had. Like, Coach Dahl, he was the head coach, but he was also like the hitting in the outfield guy. And then you had Coach Bob, he was pitchers. You had Coach Elbow, he was infielders. And it just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense, especially, like, for instance, let's talk about like the NAU staff. You have Skipper, me, Nate, Stubby, and Miles. Miles and Nate have infielders. Stubby, I just almost did something. Stubby has catchers. I have outfielders, and then Langston's like a little bit of hybrid. Like, he played everywhere, so he can coach everywhere. But he, you know, at the end of the day, fulfills like the skipper role. So like he kind of oversees everything. But like, imagine how much more would be on a plate. Like, if Miles didn't specialize and if I didn't specialize, then you'd have Nate, who's an infield coach. You'd have Stubby, who's an outfield coach. And then you have two coaches who are just kind of floating around helping where we can, with no one like to help the outfielders, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, like, if you're, I mean, what do I know? I don't really know much, but like, if you're a head coach out there looking to build a staff, look for the guys who do things different than you. Don't fill a team with catching coaches. You know, yeah, get a catching coach, but go find a guy who played in the outfield. Go find a guy who pitched. It's, you know, makes too much sense.
It's easier on the kids too, because then they're getting one voice from their positional coach. You don't have like four assistants that are all talking about different position groups. Like, it just gets confusing. That's the biggest thing I've seen Even like with our coaches, like at the start, I didn't give roles because I didn't know them yet. Like now they have roles and they're getting really good. Just like, hey, the hitting mostly runs through me and another coach. Like the catching runs through a coach. The pitching runs through a coach. Like if you're a hitting coach and you're not working with catchers, then don't talk to each other. Like you don't need to. It's for the kids. It's not for you. Like it just helps the kids having that one message from one coach or two coaches.
It also takes away some of the, and I don't even know if I'm going to use this right. It also takes away some of the coaching anxiety for not knowing everything.
100%.
Like I played the game and been around the game long enough that if I see a kid, come up on a ground ball and he misses it and he comes up and goes, "Hey, what did I do?" I can confidently go, "Oh, hey man, this is what you did," blah, blah, blah. But if a kid comes up to me and goes, "Hey, should I do this?" It's a complete get out of jail free card for me to go, go talk to Nate, go talk to Coach Nate, go talk to Coach Miles, especially if it's something I don't know. Like if they're talking to me about, whatever in the infield, I can go, "Hey man, not my job, not my role. Go talk to Coach Nate. He probably has a better answer for you." And that's just, as a young, maybe new coach, that's also awesome. If you can come in and go, "Hey, I played outfield in college, I can do that." And then they just stick you where you know. Maybe it kind of helps with a little bit of that anxiety, especially if you're bringing that knowledge with you.
Yeah, and if you're a head coach listening to this and you've got assistants and you have assigned those assistants roles, trust those assistants to do their job. I try as much as possible to defer back to those position coaches when I'm seeing things within a position group that I think maybe isn't fundamentally sound or something that we need to work on. I usually defer that back to that position's coaching, even during like a team defense session. I see an infielder that does something that is just not what we've been teaching. Usually it's a look over to Nate or to Miles to be like, "Hey, you guys got that?" And they know, and they just go and do it. So like the instruction is coming from the same people constantly. It's a trusted voice for the players. Most of the time, especially when we get into team defense, I don't have to talk much in terms of the fundamentals unless we are just so far out of it that we got to jumpstart something. And then at that point, I kind of become the hammer. But most of the instruction is coming from those positional coaches because that's what those kids are comfortable with. So if you're a head coach and you have positional coaches, trust them to do their job. And if you don't trust them to do their job, then I think that falls more on you as the head coach than it does on them as the assistant coach. You need to get them right. I've been very lucky with the guys that I've had, that I haven't had to do any of that. But I think that, if you don't trust your assistant coaches, that reflects more on you as a head coach than it does on the assistants.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I'm going to drop my favorite piece of advice that I've dropped on this podcast before. It comes from my father-in-law. If in any relationship, if two or more people are the same, people are replaceable. Like if you're a coach who brings in, like if you're an infield coach and you just bring in a bunch of infield coaches, you can probably get rid of one or two of those guys and probably have the same results, right? You keep like the top two guys, you get rid of that bottom guy, and nothing changes. So if you're just surrounding yourself as a coach with coaches that think the same, play the same positions and whatnot, you're not really doing yourself or your players any favors. Like you need to bring in some diversity. You need to bring in some guys who are going to have clashing thoughts sometimes. Like Langston and I, we don't fight because I know I'd lose, and like we don't argue because I know I'd lose. But we like that doesn't mean we agree all. Like Langston will go, "Hey, what do you think for this practice plan?" And I go, "Yeah, that's good. I'd probably, what if we do this?" And he goes, "Sure," or "No." And then I go, "All right, sweet. Either way, it's fine." But yeah, you have to bring in guys who are not only going to hold you to the, to a standard, but guys who are going to challenge your thoughts in like a constructive way. Not just to challenge you, but guys who are going to say, "Hey, could it be better?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God, this really turned into like a something different from the question, but I like it. It's good.
This episode got a little preachy, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Into the microphone. Brand new mic, by the way, Logitech Yeti Orb. I bet you can hear the difference out there. Anyway,
Okay.
So real quick, let's spin it. Unless anybody has like a 5-second thought. Anybody have a 5-second thought? No? Okay, last question. Here's the fun one. Okay. If you were to visit all 30 MLB stadiums, which is like I think every baseball person's like, maybe not a goal, but it's like, yeah, it's something I like to do if given the opportunity. There's stadiums out there we all want to go to. If you were to visit all 30, what would be your first and what would be your last? And give me a reason why. Okay. So what would be your first? What would be your last? Why? And then the second part of this question is, out of all the stadiums you haven't been to, which one do you think you would enjoy the most? Like the whole experience. Who wants to go first?
Yeah. So I've been to both Busch stadiums, so the old one and the new. Wrigley. I've been to Minnesota the year it opened. That's a really cool place. Cincinnati, it's kind of a dump. Coors, which not a great perspective, not a great day to go. I didn't have a super great experience that day, like in terms of just like walking around the field and getting the full thing. But the situation was cool. And then I've been to, I think I'm missing one. I don't know. So I've been to like 6 or 7 of them. I used to want to go to all of them. I don't anymore because I hate to travel, and some of the places I just have no interest in traveling to. The one that Fenway would be the one because of the history. That would be the one that I haven't been to that I'd want to go to first. The history would be very cool. Everybody's seen Fever Pitch, like just an awesome place. And like even watching it on TV, it's an awesome place to. It's full of history. It'd be cool to watch a game there. And Alex Bregman's not there anymore. He wasn't a good fit. He's just a way better fit in Wrigley, which is a better ballpark. But yeah, Fenway is where I'd want to go first. And then, are we counting the minor league stadiums that are currently being used because Manfred can't do his job right? Okay. I think
and hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just provide a little bit more clarification on the question.
Yeah.
You're visiting all 30 MLB stadiums. I don't care which ones you've already visited. What's the first? Okay. What's the last?
Oh.
Does that make sense? Like, where do you want to start? Where do you want to end?
Okay. I'll take that back then.
So like we're starting fresh. No. Like we're starting fresh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. I'd start in Pittsburgh. Best place I've ever been. It's fantastic. I would absolutely go. I would love to go there again. That ballpark is head and shoulders better than any of the ones I've been to, and that's coming as a Cubs fan that's in the division. Like, Pittsburgh's awesome. I wish that they would spend some money because that ballpark deserves good baseball. Like, those teams in 2014, 2015 that were really good, like, they need that back. And they have schemes. Like, let's figure it out, Charrington, or whoever the owner, or Charrington's not the owner. Let's figure it out. So Pittsburgh going to be the first. It's awesome. Worst hot dog I've ever had in my life was there, but the field itself was awesome. Easy to get in and out of, playing surface, like the Allegheny, the bridge. It's an awesome place. The last one I would go to is probably the Dodgers place, that part's a little bit tougher. Probably the Dodgers place, and then I would say maybe, that's tough. Maybe the White Sox place. I've just heard it's a dump. Like, I lived in that state for most of my life, and I never once went there. Not even as like, oh, let's get a different feel. Like, I've heard it's just terrible. So it would either be the Dodgers place or the White Sox place. And what's funny enough, their spring training stadium is my least favorite one that they share in Arizona. So I have no interest in going to LA. That's part of it. And two, I just cannot stand the Dodgers and their fans. That's not even remotely entertaining to me. So those are my answers.
Gotcha. And out of the ones you haven't been to, which one do you think you'd enjoy?
Fenway. Absolutely.
Fenway. Okay. So Fenway's. Yeah. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
My bad. I answered that weird.
No, you're good. I didn't explain it super well. Langston?
Yeah, I'm going to look at this question a little bit differently. I'm going to look at it as that it's all 30 in 1 year. That I'm gonna see a game in each of these stadiums in 1 year.
Okay.
Real
So
quick,
with that,
can I interrupt you? Would you sell your tickets to any of them? Just because you're like, I'm not interested. Your spreadsheet said it's a bad day to go. The weather's off. The dew point. UV index.
No, dude, I love baseball.
Flying.
No, dude, I love baseball. I'm going to baseball games. And so with that being said, I'm thinking that this is going to be starting in the early springtime when it's still a little bit chilly up north. So I'm going to start my journey over at Petco Park in San Diego. Great weather, year round weather.
If you went off and made all 30 in a row, it wouldn't shock me.
No, I'm not going to.
This is disgusting.
Oh, man. Stop it.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
His holes are hurting. Stop it.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna start in San Diego, go to Petco. My brother's been there. I have not been there. He says it's an excellent atmosphere. I really would like to go. And then last, I'm not going to pick one that I wouldn't like, because why would I want to end my experience with a terrible ballpark?
Yeah, that was dumb.
I'm gonna go with Truist Park, and I'm gonna go to Atlanta. I think that whole area they've built up around there is pretty cool. You named a couple places that I liked as well, and I kind of didn't want to double down on any of yours.
Yeah. Truist is
but
fun.
I like that they kind of have a whole like fan experience there in Atlanta that they've built up. Again, weather's nice. You'll be getting into September, late September, and you got a playoff push there. They have some tomahawk chops going there at Truist Park, so that's probably where I would end. In terms of what was the second part of the question? There, Strick?
Where haven't you been that you think you would enjoy the most?
Yeah, I think for me it's I go to PNC. Like PNC would be awesome. Any of like kind of those. Well, now there's only really like two of the like historic parks, right? Like it's either Fenway or it's Wrigley. Those are probably right there, like 1, 2 for me that I want to get to. I do agree with Rate. I do agree with Rate Field there and on the south side. I've heard it's kind of a dump, and I'm not going to lie to you. The south side of Chicago kind of scares me, so I'm not gonna. And I don't know that I would enjoy that very much.
Yeah, it's not a great area.
I'm thinking either Wrigley or Fenway. I've like been to Fenway, but haven't been to a game. I'd like to go to a game.
Yeah, if you're going to go to a White Sox game, make sure Grantland Waters is with you. He's verified everywhere in Chicago, or as he calls it, Chirac. So yeah, just make sure Grantland's with you and you're good to go. My first, we're going to go to a D-backs game because it's the closest. And Sky Harbor can get me to my next one. Because
Why did I get made fun of? Why did I get made fun of?
No, hold on, let's pause. We know where this is going to go. This is going to be a bad answer in some capacity. The start is, he's already worried about the airport. It's not starting great. So let's just let him finish.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could just jump on a plane and go to the next one.
Okay.
It's also where I live. It's the easiest one to go to. Just knock that one off. I'm going to end with Fenway because I'm going to end with my favorite. I'm gonna make sure that I have dessert to end the night and not a piece of poop on a plate like Paz, who just wants to go to his least favorite experience to end this journey. Okay, so I'm gonna have a good thing to end my journey with.
My ticket. Respectfully, I'm selling my ticket. I'm gonna re-answer this question quickly because I didn't understand it. So
enjoy that $12, dude.
No,
yeah, dude. Yeah. Someone broke into my car last night, left 4 White Sox tickets in there. So no, I'm starting with the D-backs. I'm ending with the Sox. And then the one I think I would enjoy the most I was going to say PNC, but you've already taken that. I'm going to go with New Globe Life in Texas, because I used to go to a lot of Rangers games because we had family there, and we would go to Old Globe Life a lot, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know. The Rangers were always kind of like that, like secondary, maybe second or third team I'd support just because I went to a lot of Rangers games. But yeah, I think New Globe Life looks really cool. And I just had a lot of good memories at Old Globe Life. So probably Old Globe Life for the one I haven't been to.
I'm going to re-answer this question shortly.
No, you don't. We're a one-take podcast. No.
I didn't understand it. So
we'd like to thank you for listening.
Start the season with, I would probably start the year in Houston and sit in the Crawford boxes. I think that'd be cool. And the weather's not going to be terrible, and that stays away from the humidity that Texas has. So I'd start there. And then I would probably finish in, let's see, Mike, what's the dew point usually in September? Did you look for that anywhere? I'd probably finish.
Because in the Northeast, it's high. I went to school there, man. It is high in the Northeast.
Oh, San Francisco. I've always wanted to go to that because I work for them, so I've always wanted to go to that stadium because that looks awesome. And then I would sell my tickets to some of these games, but throwing out a bonus there, you hit Chicago, the rate, and then Milwaukee in July. It's going to be the best weather ever. There's nothing better than going to Wrigley in July.
Yeah, one of my good friends, she lives in Chicago, and she says it's the best summertime city in the country, is Chicago.
I went to a 4th of July Cubs game when I was in college. It's like just the right breeze. It's not humid. It's beautiful. And the Cubs, it would have been like Acuna's second year. They beat that team on 4th of July. It was a pretty fun game. Shout out David Bowie.
Oh yeah.
Fly the W.
Yep. Well, Ubs. Go Ubs.
I think there's a couple honorable mentions we can make as far as really fun ballparks. You hit Oracle. Oracle is cool. Oriole Park, Camden Yards. I would say T-Mobile Park, but Parsons doesn't believe that Chase Field is a good playing surface, and so I'm not going to give him that respect.
And you know what? He hasn't caught a stray on here in a while. So you know what, Parsons?
Apparently he's got cards that belong to me. So
he's going to
catch a stray.
Yeah.
Ryan Parsons might be the stinkiest guy of all time. Go ahead.
Where are you at on Detroit, Langston?
I think when the Tigers are good, it's probably a cool yard.
Yeah.
But when they're not, it's a graveyard. I think the bank, dude. I think Citizens Bank in Philly, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Those are some diehard fans. I hear that Target Field is very nice.
Awesome.
Target Field is awesome, dude.
Yeah. If only they cared about baseball up there. That place is sick.
Shout out Max Kepler. Steroids.
Shout out Stubby.
He's in Philly, or he was last year.
Oh yeah, he's in Philly now.
Yeah.
Shout out Stubby though. Stubby's a Twins fan.
And Hen.
He is.
Yeah.
And Hen. Yep. So, shout out Big Hen. Don't know if he listens, but shout out.
But I think that there's a lot of what's nice is there's way more good yards in Major League Baseball than there are bad yards.
Well, let me ask you
I think that's important to remember.
Let me ask both of you this. Let's ignore the White Sox since we already trashed them. What is your least likely visited park for whatever reason?
The Trop.
The Trop? Well, it's dead now.
No, it's back this year.
True.
They're fixing it.
They're coming back to the Trop. Oh my God, there's gonna be holes in the roof.
Yeah, they found the last piece of the roof in somebody's pool and got it.
Yeah.
My dad's been to the Trop. He said it was a joke.
Yeah. I feel like Angel Stadium gets hate. I've been to Angel Stadium. It was
not bad.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Same with Nationals.
The Trop was your... Yeah. Okay. Is there even a close second?
I mean, no. The White Sox.
Yeah.
I don't see that there's many, there's just not that many bad ballparks. And even the ones that are maybe not super modernized, or maybe a little bit bland, or usually a little bit more history to them. So it kind of makes up for it. Like I think about like Dodger Stadium and like Chavez Ravine, and like it's like I can poo it, but like there's at least some history there where like I can get over it. I won't get over the parking, I'm sure, but
yeah. Dude, the world could be ending, and the last shelter for human life could be Chavez Ravine. You're gonna find my bones somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah.
You even yeah.
No. It
also, fun ballpark. 30-second story. I went to a Mets Braves game. I think Mets Nationals, because Harper was playing. I went to a Mets Nationals game at Citi Field. Nothing crazy about like the Citi Field experience. Like, it was fun. Like, it was, it wasn't too bad. But on the way out, there was this woman chain smoking, handing out boxes of pasta to people as they left. And I don't think I've ever had a better experience leaving a field. Just as someone who did not have a stove to go home and cook that to, leaving with 2 boxes of dry pasta, it was fun.
What I will say about those fields in New York is that, having been to both of them, I had better fan experiences at Citi Field than I did at Yankee Stadium.
Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We're all stunned.
Everything was just more comfortable. It didn't matter where you sat, you could see the whole field. Like, I hated that. I understood why they did it when they made new Yankee Stadium and just made it like the exact same as old Yankee Stadium, but like, I don't think that you should have seats that you can't see the field from. I'll never understand that, especially if you're not a ballpark that wasn't built in like 1908. Like, if you are building a new ballpark, there shouldn't be a bad seat in the house, in my opinion. But Citi Field, I enjoyed. Yankee Stadium was fine. You have Monument Park and you got stuff there, but in terms of like actually sitting and watching a game, I much preferred Citi Field.
Strick, what would be your least likely, like, no interest? Is it Dodgers?
If I put my bias aside, probably not. Like, if you're telling me I could go, like, if I was in LA and they were like, "Hey, you want to go to a Dodgers game?" I'm probably going. Like, just to be honest, like, they just have too many good players. Like, especially this season, they're like, "Hey, you want to go to a Dodgers game?" Sure. God, probably my least likely.
Hasn't been mentioned.
I mean,
Miami's in Miami, though.
Yeah, Miami's. Yeah. That's the thing that you got to remember, is that, like, you go to the stadium, but there's also stuff around the stadium.
I'm aware.
Like, Miami would be fun.
Like, how is that a baseball state and nobody goes? Because the stadium looks nice. Like, what's wrong with it other than it's in Miami?
The ownership.
Yeah. They were like,
I would say
crazy, but yeah.
I would say the one I'm least likely to go to, regardless of bias, is Yankee Stadium. I don't know.
That feels like a total bias pick.
Yeah, 100% bias. No, I mean, I'm kind of with Langston. I like baseball. I'm going to go watch baseball. So like, I'm never going to be the guy to be like, I'm not going to Yankee Stadium. I mean, there's really not one. I mean, I'd go watch any of them. I mean, I think as long as it's, they got a dog for me, I'll probably show up.
Is there one? Let me rephrase it. Is there one where, like, you're purchasing tickets, you're doing the expenses? Like, what's the least likely that you're going to spend your own money on? Is it Yankee?
No, there's probably not one. Like, truthfully, there's probably not a ballpark I wouldn't go to. Like, there's just not. Like, baseball's baseball. I tell you one thing. One field I will be interested in go seeing is the Las Vegas A's whenever that's done. I think that's one I'm really going to want to go to. Another field I'd go back to that we didn't. I know they got denied the name rights, but the one field I didn't give proper love to was Coors. Coors Field is pretty sick. Like, cool sunset, like the trees out in the bullpen. Like, it's a fun field.
I didn't like the size of the concourse.
I didn't either.
Yeah, it was like a high school hallway.
Can I rant real quick on Coors, please?
And then we have to wrap up, but yes, go ahead.
That's fine. Significantly overrated from what everybody said. Parking was awful. The concourse was, I think, smaller than a high school hallway. I was stunned with how overrated I think it is. It was a fun game to watch. It was cool that we did it and the way that we did it. But I think that I didn't get a fair representation of what everybody else thinks about it, because I would like to go back there again just to see what it's like, maybe like in April when nobody's there, or July, doesn't matter that for them. But I just thought for everybody talking it up, man, I did not get the same experience. Yeah, it was very cool, and like 4th of July when we went, like it was all the fun it should be. But in terms of just like walkability and like all that stuff, like you can walk around Chase Field 100 times before the game starts. Like Wrigley, same thing. Like it was not super accessible, and like didn't even go to the pro shop because you can't walk there. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't go to the. I don't know. I was a little disappointed with it.
No,
you ain't wrong. Yeah. Once we got to the seats, it was fine. Once you got like to your seat, it was fun.
I want the experience though if I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the experience was? Oh, go ahead.
I think if I was going to go back, I'd probably sit in the rock pile. Like, I think that's what I want to do. I want to like go to these stadiums and sit in like their signature seats. You know, like you talked about the Crawford boxes, the rock pile. Sit, try to rent out the pool at Chase Field. Like do like stuff like that. I think would be fun.
Take out a second mortgage
for all of these stadiums. I think that would be really cool.
Well, I'm glad you're willing to rent out the Chase Field pool, and then we'll do a live episode from there.
I got medical bills to pay. Sorry, bud.
Yeah. Future episode though, future fun topic: best seat in baseball. We're gonna do some research on what we think the best seat in baseball is. I add that to our little. I know, dude. I know. But I'm gonna add that to our little topics list. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap up today's episode. We're at our hour and some change mark that we normally get to. This was fun. We definitely got off topic, but I think we got off topic in the right way. So good job to both of you guys. This is episode 18. Episode 18. We got 2 more to go before episode 20. We're going to try to figure out what those 2 look like, but we know what episode 20 might look like. Langston is just gnawing and grinding his teeth to talk about a certain episode. So we might get to that one a little sooner rather than later before another mystery illness comes up with that guy. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. We'd like to thank everyone who's out there listening. Paz, you're unmuted, so I'm going to ask you, where can people listen to the podcast? Just listen.
Alex Bregman of the Cubs, 5 years, 170.
Okay, Langston, where can people listen to the podcast?
You can find us on Spotify podcasts.
Cody
Thank
Bellinger.
You. Okay, Paz. All right, he lost again. You can watch the podcast on YouTube at the Hey Coach Podcast. Same with Spotify. Paz, I'm going to unmute you, and we give you one chance to answer this. Where can people follow us on social media? And if you mention the Cubs or Cody Bellinger or anything like that, okay, I'm going to call up your old head coach, and he's going to come throw a clipboard at you. Okay, so where can people follow us?
Good question, and I got it. No problem. The Red Sox are frauds.
Okay. You can find us on Instagram at the Hey Coach Podcast. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Go Jacks. Go Jacks. Horns are up. Okay.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Oh, there we go. And we look forward to our live stream of the Payson versus Jacks bloodbath. But with that, thanks for listening to Head Coach. We'll see you next time.
Love you.